Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of For and Out. I'm Pat O'Rourke. I'm the sports editor of the BU News Service. I'm with Alex Hirsch once again. And Alex is a pretty busy week in Red Sox Nation. Obviously, David Price being signed by the Red Sox for 7 years and $217 million. He's introduced today. Lots of concerns, lots of reasons to worry about this deal. Obviously, a very, very risky deal. What really concerns you the most about this?
Honestly, nothing. You know this. I love this deal. I love it. If I had to pick a concern, I guess you could say my concern would be that, what's the length of the contract? Is it 7 years? 7 year, $217 million deal. That would concern me. But the fact that we have an option to opt out of this deal after 3 years, completely okay with it. Give me 3 great years of David Price, then let him walk and go find another starting pitcher and give him the same contract. I don't care. I love it. Nothing concerns me. No one has a better ERA at Fenway Park in the last 100 years besides him and Babe Ruth. They have the best 2 ERAs at Fenway Park.
That's also a very small sample size as well, mind you. But really, you mentioned the three-year buyout. So for all intents and purposes, this is a 3-year, $90 million deal. If all goes right, David Price has 3 great years. He takes the buyout after the 3rd year, and then tests the open market. The Yankees had something similar with that with CC Sabathia. That's the greatest example. And from 2009 to 2011, CC Sabathia was, in my opinion, was the most valuable player in all of baseball.
Sure.
If David Price has a run similar to Sabathia, it's going to be very, very hard for the Red Sox to let him walk. Even after seeing what's happened in the past with these guys, with Sabathia, with A-Rod, even maybe now with Greinke, it's very hard to say no to David Price and justify that to the fans to let him walk. I think it's going to be hard for fans to. Fans aren't going to remember. Oh, what happened to Sabathia? Look what happened to Sabathia.
Well, you can justify it though by signing someone else afterwards, and that's what it will hopefully be. But speaking of signing though, so the last 3 times we've had a show, all right.
Yep.
Immediately after the show, big Red Sox news has happened. David Ortiz announced he was retiring in the upcoming year. Red Sox traded for Craig Kimbrel, and then David Price was signed by the Red Sox. What's your prediction for the next big Red Sox move? What's about to happen?
Well, first, just in case we're confuse our viewers, the Ortiz we're also talking about our Tuesday podcast that we do as well. So the Ortiz and the Price happened on Tuesday. But anyway, I think the next shoe to drop, the thing that the Red Sox are going to do in the next hour is, which to our luck, based off the past few weeks, is I think they're going to get a second starting pitcher. I think it's going to be. I'm not going to say they're going to sign Greinke, but it'll be a lower option. There's been mention of Shelby Miller, trade for Shelby Miller, someone of that sort. Upgrade that second best pitcher, second best starting pitcher, and upgrade there. I think overall their core of the team is pretty much all set. They got their ace starter, they got their ace closer. They got a dynamite middle of the order with Ortiz and Xander and Mookie, and he still got a Lumpini in there as long as he's healthy. So I think the next move is going to be a starting pitcher.
I couldn't agree more. Sox are going to get that number 2 pitcher. I don't think it's going to come through free agency. I don't think we're going to see Cueto or Greinke here as well.
Yeah.
But I do believe that we will be trading for someone. And I feel like they're somehow going to get the trade done again without giving up one of those core pieces. I think Swihart, Mookie, and Xander, obviously, and I might be missing someone, Eddie Rodriguez. I think they're all going to be in Red Sox uniform next year, and I still think we're going to get someone like a Shelby Miller or Sonny Gray. I know the Red Sox have pushed, Dombrowski has pushed hard for both of those, and a lot of people have linked the Red Sox to Shelby Miller lately as a good trade candidate. So personally, I think that's what's going to happen in the next hour. Red Sox are going to get themselves a number 2 starting pitcher, and that's really all they need, really, to go into the new season. Maybe another reliever or 2, but number 2 pitcher is really where it's
spare
at.
parts now.
Spare parts, yes. So let's transition to the football field. Big thing happened last night. If you didn't catch the game, what happened? Packers were down by 3 points, I believe. No, 4 points, and
2.
2 points. Regardless, they were down. Field goal would have won the game, but they were down on their own. I believe they're on their own 24-yard line with one last play. They do one of those miracle plays where they're throwing it and lateraling it everywhere. It ends up coming back to Aaron Rodgers at his own 24-yard line. He gets taken down. Game's over. But wait, there's a flag, and it is defensive face mask, and they had grabbed Aaron Rodgers' face mask. Rodgers then, next play, 61-yard Hail Mary, Flutie-esque to Richard Rodgers, no relation. and that ends up being the game, and the Packers win. Did the refs miss this call? Did they mess this one up?
I think they did screw it up. But first off, didn't you kind of expect something to happen there when that call happened? Yeah. That was my first thought. They're going to throw a Hail Mary here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It was like when someone would drop a foul ball.
Yeah.
And against Manny Ramirez and he'd hit a home run.
Yep.
It's something similar to that. But anyway, yeah, I think the refs did botch it. I thought that just the fact that whether or not it was a face mask, just the fact at that point of the game, you're going to make that kind of call at that point of the game, where that's the last play of the game, or it should have been the last play of the game, and you're going to make that. And at the very least, it was a very, very soft face mask call. If it was a face mask call, that's the refs becoming a part of the game and deciding the outcome of the game, and that's happening way too much in the NFL lately.
But it was a face mask. Even you just said it. Even if it was a soft face mask,
it was very, very soft.
But it was.
And it was incidental. He got his thumb on the face mask.
Incidental versus non-incidental, it's still a face mask, and that's all that matters. And it's the ref's job to make the call, and they did it. The ref's job is not to, hey, make the call when it's not, when there's less than, before there's a minute left in the game, and then don't make the calls after the minute of the game. I get the idea. You don't want the refs deciding the outcome, but if there's a penalty, they have to call it, and that was a penalty. They did grab the face mask, whether it's incidental or not. There is no longer the incidental face mask penalty. Mm-hmm. It was a 15-yard personal penalty, personal foul. That's 15 yards. That's the right call to make. It's unfortunate, and it means that the Lions need to be maybe a little bit more disciplined. I don't know. You almost expect things like that to happen with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, well, you don't expect it, you know it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, but let's stick to the football field.
Yep.
All right. The Patriots, they're taking on the Eagles this week, 1 o'clock. They're going to be without Gronkowski, without Edelman, without Donta Hightower, it looks like, even though he was practicing. They'll be without Deion Lewis as well for the rest of the season. But the first three, those three are all going to be hopefully coming back at some point this season, whether it's in the postseason or regular season. Who needs to step up, though, in the meantime?
I think the big name for me is Scott Chandler. Mm-hmm. I think he's certainly underperformed to this point of the season. I think maybe that has to do a little bit with Gronkowski and some of the other options in the defense. He's just not getting the targets. But he certainly has to step up. Now is his point to prove, this is why the Patriots signed me. This is why I'm here. And he really has to step up for him, I think.
I agree with Chandler. I think Chandler is a guy that needs to step up as well. But I think the main guy that needs to step up, and it shouldn't be too hard for him, but after a 4-week absence of some mysterious illness, Jamie Collins needs to return to that guy he was before he was hurt, before he left the game. Because with Hightower out, they really struggled with Hightower out and Jamie Collins out the other day. They were giving up chunks of yardage, including the game winner from C.J. Anderson for, a 45-yard run to win the game in overtime.
Yeah.
Jamie Collins needs to be his crazy uber athletic self and dominate the game. If Jamie Collins could do that, the defense will stay fine, because that's one of the things that's going to need to hold together this team until Edelman and Gronk come back is that defense. And without that defense, Patriots might start dropping some games. So Jamie Collins needs to be himself.
I think it's going to take a couple weeks for Collins to get up to speed just after missing those 4 weeks. But yes, he does need to come back and be very close, if not exactly at the form that he was before he got hurt.
Luckily, when you're 10-1, you've got a couple of weeks for him to get back
up to
speed.
Exactly.
But we don't want them to go 10-2. Play the Eagles 1 o'clock this Sunday at home. What's your prediction?
I hope Mark Sanchez starts, because I love watching Mark Sanchez just
butt fumbles everywhere.
Yeah, just butt fumbles and just make a fool of himself. But it looks like Bradford's going to be back. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that helps. I think Chip Kelly's headed to USC. I think this Eagles team is in free fall, and I think the Patriots win. I'll say it won't be a blowout, but 35-17. So I guess it's right on the line of the blowout. But what do you think?
I think this Eagles team is a mess. I think regardless of the personnel that the Patriots are putting on the field, this Eagles team is an absolute mess right now. And the Patriots should be able to take advantage of that. They don't have a good defense. It's not a good secondary. No. So Brady, regardless of the receivers that he's got out there, LaFell should be good enough. Chandler should be good enough to slice and dice these guys. So my prediction, Patriots win this one. I'm going to say we're going to be a little score lower than the 35s. They'll be in the 20s, maybe 28 to, I'll give them 10. I'll give the Eagles 10 points with Sam Bradford back. He always seems to have like one good drive to give them a little bit of faith, and then the rest of the game is atrocious.
They throw 3 picks.
So I think Patriots win this one 28-10. So that's all we got today for 4 and Out. I'm Alex Hirsch alongside the BU News Service sports editor, Pat O'Rourke. Make sure you tune in on Tuesday for our last podcast of the season, Quick Points. And then next week we'll be doing our last 4 and Out of the year as well. So make sure you tune in next week. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.
See you guys next week.